Hey everybody, it's Squid. Welcome back to my channel. How is everybody doing this afternoon? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So, hold on. The little likes to FaceTime me. She's figured out how to do it. There we go. So if you hear an echo, it's me, but it's not me. Oh, hope everybody is doing well today. Thank you. I'm back to fun colors and fun hair. Hey, Eric, how are you doing? Greta, thank you. Look, stop FaceTiming me. I'm right here. Stop FaceTiming me. It's okay. It's okay. She gets mad because I tell her to stop FaceTiming me. It's like, so we have a couple of new things on the agenda for today. There are a couple of, hey, Linda. There's a couple of new documents. They're short. But also, I wanted to go into a couple of things, mainly who the new judge is and what his preferences are in relation to what our current Judge McDreamy is. So first things first, we are going to get into the documents. They are quick, so we are going to shoot right through them. Let's see. Prevent share screen. Window. Yes, ma'am. She has both her phone and mine. She has a phone, but it's only like so she can act like she's playing on the phone. And it's a thing. Come on. Why is it not working? There we go. Please tell me StreamYard is not being a butthead this afternoon. Okay. And my my thing is Angel. There you go. My robot vacuum cleaner is starting to drive or run through this room, so yeah, I don't know. I don't stay up that late to watch anybody's streams. I went to bed at like 9 o'clock last night, 8:45ish. But the echo is not with me. The echo is the fact that she is in the room with two different devices calling them. And if I do that right now, if I take those away, that's where the echo is coming from. So that's where the echo is coming from. Yeah. Hey, Timothy, how are you? So thank you. I'm glad y'all like it. Oh yeah, she did it from her dad's watch. She was hitting buttons on her dad's watch when she was about 16 months old, and all of a sudden from the closet behind the hanging the organizers, I hear 911, what's your emergency? She was 16 months old, so it's happened. Yeah, baby squid practicing echolocation. This is the joint motion that was filed. It's super quick. Joint notice, all parties pursuant to this court's order dated March 10th of 2025, document 93, hereby notify this honorable court that both attorneys have agreed that they are both available for the deposition of witness Zim Paget on March 21st, 2025, which is, I want to say on Monday, but I could be wrong, and I don't have my calendar up right now to look. But super quick. That one was done super quick. And then we have this one. This one is just an order from the judge. I told you these are super quick. Upon consideration of the foregoing, it's ordered this 11th day of March, 2025. Plaintiff has filed the status report advising that the parties have agreed the deposition in question will occur March 25th of 2025. Accordingly, plaintiff's motion for a protective order is denied, moot. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Kind of expected. 21st is a Friday. Thank you. It's just yes. if you take those away, the echo turns into a scream of 1,000 toddlers. Yes. Yeah, pretty much. That involves me doing math on the fly on a live stream. Yeah. You changed your picture? Oh my God. Oh, I hate it and I love it at the same time. Okay. So this completely expected. So the thing about the motions from yesterday, and I'll bring it up, but I have to go through and do something with it so YouTube doesn't get mad at me. His motions yesterday, or his order yesterday, I understand that people don't want to deal with it, and the judge is starting to. I'm about to take the phones away from her though, because it comes up on my Mac every time she calls and it pauses the stream. So I get a thing. Let me stop my camera real quick. I'll be right back. All right, there we go. She's calling her dad, so hopefully that takes care of the issue. So the motions we talked about yesterday were a motion for a protective order that to change the deposition. It's not the protective order in the it's not the protective order in the like order of protection, like DV or stalking kind of situation. It's a protective order more in the if he doesn't show up for his deposition, like protect him from bubbles, basically. Thank you. I'm glad everybody likes the hair. And this is going to be a relatively quick stream because I want to go outside and play with my little one because it is gorgeous outside. Yeah, it's not a protective order in the traditional sense of what we think of as a protective order. It's more to protect the witness from being badgered, harassed, whatever, by the lawyer who's trying to schedule a deposition. Yeah, that Zim was the witness to the signs, and that's also why I believe that Bubbles is trying to get him disqualified as a witness. Somebody brought that up yesterday, and I totally I can see it. I totally can see that. Yeah, pretty much. I'm not a lawyer, so that I might not be getting everything involved in it, but from what I understand from reading it multiple times in different cases, it's just to protect the witness from oh, thanks. It goes all the way back there. Y'all are seeing the tattoos and the pink hair or red hair. Y'all are seeing me seeing my normal personality. Yeah. I need another tattoo, but it's one of those things of there's bigger fish to fry in the wallet area right now, and we are not. And if y'all are showing up and y'all are green, during my morning stream this morning, there was a gifted membership battle between a couple of people. So we have a lot of new members, about 100 of them, to be perfectly honest with you. So I gotta redact this order, but everybody's seeming to have problems with the judge, except for me. I don't know what it is, but I don't have a problem with this judge. In the sense of, one, you're not going to get every motion to go your way. Two, he knows that Bruce is trying to have him removed as a judge. So he's being, in my opinion, he's being extra cautious on making sure that he appears to be fair. And remember, just like there is a difference between what we think, what we say, and what we write in a motion, there is also the difference between how you run your courtroom and how you deal with people when they are in front of you, and how you deal with people that are just writing motions and posting motions. And this is completely my opinion. I know that my opinion is not really ever a popular opinion, because with either side, because I have the mindset that everybody sucks. I hate everybody. Nobody's perfect. And whoever makes one side out to be perfect and the other side out to be the worst thing that happened to the world, no matter what side you're on, you automatically lose credibility in my eyes. My ability to trust your opinion goes down a little bit, because nobody is perfect. Everybody, hindsight being 2020, everybody does stuff that they probably shouldn't have done. That includes the people on this side that I'm not exactly fond of, because they decided that they wanted to try to talk about my child while saying simultaneously they don't know who I am, and that's just fucking weird. Roy, I understand. But think about this. Judge Kranick in Florida, in Orlando, agreed with Sarah Boone on some things, and didn't always treat, when we wished that Sarah Boone would be put in her place, Kranick held a very monotone, right in the middle. He looked like, sometimes you looked at him and you're like, just tell her to shut up, or just put her in her place. And he didn't. But at the same time, just because he doesn't agree with us and what we would do personally, we're also not federal judges. We also don't have the people to be accountable to that he does. When he knows that people are trying to have him removed, the Gainesville to Gainesville motions over and over again, you walk an extra line, because that way this case doesn't go to appeal. Because if it goes to appeal, remember, appeals, one, are for losers, but are also for just I can hear the little appeals are not a finder of fact. And this is going to a jury trial. So remember that it's not the judge that's going to be making the decision, it's the jury. And this is also why I don't pay attention to all the other extra BS that's going on in the world of this case, because to the judge, it doesn't matter. Remember, the judge is only seeing what is written in these motions. I put that, the judge is only seeing. So when Randy has had attitude in these motions, just like Bubbles has, but when Randy has had attitude in these motions, he looks just the same as Bubbles. Take that how you will, but when all someone sees is a smart-ass attitude, the context of what all Randy has dealt with in the rest of the realm of this case does not matter. Absolutely does not matter. What the judge sees and the jury, yes, the jury will not get to see most of the drama. So what we think of as, I wish the judge would put him in his place, whatever the judge puts in writing is permanent. And Bubbles can go back to it and go, he was mean to me. You notice this, and this. And we all know that Bubbles likes filing bar complaints. So I believe the judge is very walking this fine line. That's why I don't give the judge much shit about it, because I've called out Randy's like, you can't do that in a motion because that's permanent. That's permanent. You can't write that in a motion. Well, the judge also can't write that in orders. He has started to get a little sassy at times, but you see the next motion after he has a sassy motion, you see him rein it in and be uber professional. And also remember, the judge, this is not the only case that this judge is dealing with. He has multiple cases on his docket. Yes, Bubbles also likes to play the victim card. Yes, and playing the victim card with a federal judge, if somebody else falls for it, say you get an uber liberal, like uber lefty judge that's like, I don't know, like thinks of everybody who's poor needs to be helped out by the government and like feels for Lynette. Whatever you think of Lynette is not important right now with what I'm saying too. So do not get into shit in the, in the stream or in the chat about left versus right, like Lynette versus Jeremy. That's not important. What if you get a judge that sides completely with Lynette and he sees that this earlier judge went against Bubbles on everything and was rude to Bubbles? Now you might get this overturned because the judge made a bad decision. So it's you have to look at it not from, oh, Bubbles is, and I think everybody, and I'm not knocking anybody's opinion. You can have whatever opinion you want. I just don't agree with it. This judge is walking a very tight rope of not allowing this case to be out of hand, but also not allowing this case to be appealed if by whatever side and get turned over on appeal. Because if this judge wants to move up in the federal system, that's one of the things they look at is his overturn rate. So I think he does not want to sanction them so he can't claim that they can't afford to defend themselves. And there's that too. Like there's that too. Like, yeah, this judge probably deals with, I don't know. Like KU Thunder, I have to disagree with you on that one. Because of the fact that I've never seen, with the exception of David Gingras, I have never seen a lawyer like this. Yes, that is true. But I also think somebody said it earlier in chat, and I'm sorry, congratulations. Oh my goodness. Congratulations. Somebody said, yes, but okay. I agree with you. But what do we know what this judge is talking about with his legal assistants or the clerk of court? Do we know exactly what goes on behind closed doors? No, we don't. We have no idea. And I'm starting to get annoyed with this effing, I'm turning this phone off because so with everybody going, I hate this judge. He's letting Bubbles get away with things. Is he really? Or is he just not saying anything until he has Bubbles acting a fool in front of him? Because it sounded like when Bubbles and Jeremy and Brandy were both in front of the judge, that he was pretty hard and harsh on Bubbles as far as professional behavior. But remember, Bubbles likes to be a dick and play dirty. This judge is walking a fine line of not getting a bar complaint. And I believe that there are things going on behind the scenes, but the judge is being uber professional in motions, because when this goes to appeal, appeals in the federal system, I'm not sure how many panel of how many judges it is, but if this gets appealed and goes in front of a panel of judges who are on Lynette's side, because it could happen. We saw Judge Grudge. Like we saw Judge Grudge at the county level or at the state level. Like we know that there are people who will take her side. They're possibly just because she's a woman, possibly just because she's poor, the child, it doesn't matter why, but there are people obviously there's a whole clan of people who are on her side on the internet. So like, just because you or I don't agree with what the judge says doesn't mean what the judge is doing is against our client. Like, I repeat, Kranick agreed with Sarah Boone. On more than one occasion, Kranick agreed with Sarah Boone, where the rest of us are like, tell her to shut the hell up. She killed somebody. But like, it is just, we have to, yes, and that's what I said this morning. So I talked about this a little bit this morning before I got into the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively bullshit. Okay, federal civil is, I thought it was, but I wasn't about to say it and be wrong. Because, you know, like, I don't like to claim that I know what I'm talking about when I don't. I thought it was 3, but like, you know, that is true. That is true. However, yeah, Sarah actually won a lot of stuff per se, because I believe that Judge Kranick was walking that fine line of, I can't be too harsh on her, because if she appeals this, which to me, whenever, yeah, like a judge, yeah, that was state though, and I just wanted to make sure there wasn't a difference between state and federal. You Grandpa can't FaceTime right now. He's busy. Yeah, he's got meetings all day today. Oh, baby. Baby, I love you, but you cannot FaceTime Grandpa. He's busy. He loves you very, very much, but he's busy today. We talked about this yesterday. No. Yes, but I'm just saying, anything could happen with a judge you get on appeal, depending on what their past is and how they've ruled in the past. Like, anything could happen. So I believe this judge is being extra cautious. One, giving, yeah, that's true. This, Chris, I agree with you. Yeah, but remember, Randy's also got some attitude and some motions as well. So he's cleaned it up. I've noticed in the last few, like, there's been shade, but it's been like professional shade and not like the, oh my God, he just said that. So it's one of those, yes, this right here. Thank you, Luna. There are too many parts moving that we aren't seeing. It's bigger than we think. And remember, whatever is in these motions are what the appeals court will see. Remember that. The appeals court will get this. We'll get all these motions. So, yes, this right here. Like, Randy has dignity. BBB does not. So, there's a lot of stuff that we aren't seeing. And so people that are like quick to judge, I'm like, what else are you quick to judge? Like, if you go from liking somebody to not liking them based on 1 or 2 motions in the grand scheme of life, y'all, I have to question your, like, I have to, like, I look at it and I'm like, what are we doing, in the sense of, like, what do you when someone in life doesn't do what you want, do you automatically write them off? I'm like, yeah. That, I think, is the very, very good question that I think the judge will have a problem with. And quite honestly, I think the judge has been buying his time in, yeah, even I even agreed with Bridget Todd on some stuff, Flash Fan. Like, yeah, right, this right here. You can't not just like the judge when he sides with Jeremy Hales. We can't just one-side it. You're not, like, I describe a court case as a war, not a battle. You may lose individual battles and you're going to get frustrated as crap during those battles. But guess what? It's not about winning the battles. It's about winning the war. So, yeah, I have faith in this judge. I have a lot of faith in this judge. But I also think, stop FaceTiming me. Thank you, bud. Stop FaceTiming me. You FaceTimed me 22 times. 22 times. I'm right here, baby. I'm right here. Angel, girl, you gotta stop. There we go. Yeah, there's this is right here, and I love my Tammys. Girls, like the Wrangler or the what did somebody say yesterday? One Tammy sent me a message, a screenshot that somebody said in chat, and I missed the comment that they made. It's, and I completely agree. I can understand, but remember, Judge Grudge Judge Grudge doesn't happen very often. I've seen a lot of judges in the country in a lot of different cases, and there's only two judges that even there's only two judges that I can say that remotely are inappropriate and I think should be removed from the bench, and that is Judge Grudge and the lady in the Karen Reed case. She frustrates me so much I can't even remember her name. Yeah, Judge Grudge left an impression on all of us. It's a where is that comment? Sorry, I'm trying to yes, Judge Grudge was the first exposure some of us had some of us following What the Hell's had to judges. Those followers have seen things go bad for Jeremy and are sensitive when we see it again. That is a fair comparison, or a fair thing. But I have followed enough cases, I think, especially in the Southeast, a lot of the judges that I've followed in Georgia, Mississippi, Florida are not like Judge Grudge. Judge Grudge is Judge Grudge is a thing. Like, Judge Grudge is a one of a kind. Other than the Karen Reed judge, but I think that's a female judge. Like, I've even had judges that I don't like. For example, Judge Schroeder. I liked him in the Kyle Rittenhouse case. I did not like him. Here, baby. There you go. I did not like him when it came to Zachariah Anderson. He made really bad decisions, but he also supposedly had a stroke between that, and that's a whole another thing. Judge in the Delphi case was pretty bad. Yeah, Bev, correct Bev. Thanks for the people who pointed it out. You want Mama to move your chicken over there? Or do you want to go to Daddy's desk? She doesn't know what she wants right now. Yeah, OG YSL judge was like that. It's a I like Daryl Brooks judge, Judge Mommy, people called her. Judge Darrow. I don't like her. I tend to have a problem with female judges being too soft on people. The judge in the kid in Florida that the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas kid. Yeah, that's about right. So I understand that a lot of people have issues with this judge, and the fact that I have to remember that there's two things that I've noticed covering court cases, and even just watching court cases. Like, if you go into a court TV or a law and crime stream during a trial, there are a lot of people who live in this country who have no idea how our legal system works. None whatsoever. I know I'm not an expert by any means because I'm not a lawyer. And my degree is nothing close to law, although I did have to, take some law classes. But like, it's oh yeah, she's very Wisconsin, where she feels the need to explain everything and teach. Sorry, Daryl Brooks is not a teaching moment. You stop trying to hold his hand. But I also think that she was trying to be extra cautious in the sense that she knew that he was going to appeal because he is just that kind of a person. So like, my apologies. So I get it. It's just that we need to stop and remember that there are a lot of things going on behind the scenes that we don't know. Like, it is what it is. And just because we don't win a couple of motions that we think we should, this is true too. There's way too many activists on the bench. So going into that, if you go to finduscourts.gov, yeah, I would have. That one was personal to me because that's my hometown. So, if you go to finduscourts.gov, you will see everything, all of the federal judges that are for the Northern District of Florida. And you will see what they have as preferences. That is true, but I think that is something he is going to address in person. I still don't think that was much of a loss on this one with Randy and the judge. They still got the date changed, even though there was no subpoena. No one really needs to show up. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody else mentioned that yesterday too. The fact that they don't think, and someone mentioned that yesterday that I generally don't agree with. When she comes in here, she's usually trolling me, and she's usually a smartass. But yesterday, Andrea came in here with a really, really good point that she does not think that Bubbles has the money to subpoena Zim. It's the reason he wanted Shockett to contact Zim. BBB is broke. I think with all these extra motions that he's filing, I think he is too. Hi, Dangerous Waves. Hey, Angel, can you grab the... Ow. You okay? You okay? Yeah, you bumped your... Come here, baby. Come here, honey bug. It's okay. Girl, you got to move your stuff out of the way. There we go. It's okay. It's just the vacuum cleaner. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Oh my goodness. You even trolls. So we can get along with trolls sometimes. Sometimes I get along with trolls better than other people. Because... Hi, baby. Yes, boo. Yes. There we go. Yeah. Well, I didn't. Someone sent me pictures. So I didn't do anything, but I'm sorry. That is my. Hold on. There we go. I'll step him for a minute. Oh, go dog. There we go. Go back home. Sometimes having a vacuum cleaner that's a robot is great, and some people, yeah. And Stats, thank you for the $1.49 super sticker. And Stats, you and I don't always agree all the time, but you were here, and I'm glad for that. Hey, do you want to say hi? Hi. 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 Jackie, yes, but in my chat, everybody is free to be who they are, and we don't judge them based on what they do outside my chat, because the 22 hours a day that I'm not streaming, I could give two shits what you guys do. Like, who you talk to, I don't care. That's none of my business. Like, who you subscribe to when you're not in my chat, I don't care. Like, it doesn't affect me. So I don't, but there's a thing that you can agree with somebody that you don't always agree with. But if people are in my chat who don't always agree with me, but are willing to hear a different side, this is what happens when we all end up in our own, oh yeah, I get that. But at the same time, sorry, chat's moving fast. At the same time, like, I don't, what happens, I cared for like 30 seconds when people were talking bad about me. But to a point, it's like when I close my computer, it's very hard for me to care about people on the internet. So they were super short. Basically, it was the joint motion from Randy and Bubbles moving the deposition of Zim to March 21st, which is a Friday. Thank you for those. Yes, and if you talk bad about other chatters, after, you're going to be given a warning, and then you're going to be timed out, because I just, like, I don't like when people go, I don't like to talk crap about other people, except for Bubbles, because, you know, he's Bubbles. But other than that, like, there's people in this chat who are, as y'all call it, ecosystem dwellers. But at the same time, they come here and they're respectful to me while they're here. What they say about me when they're not in my chat doesn't affect me, because I turn off my computer and I turn off my computer and, like, I laugh. That's why, like, when I get hater comments, I'm like, okay, then just don't watch. Like, I love you, but just don't watch. If you have a problem with the fact that I talk to my chat, then don't watch. Like, I'm sorry. All right, but we are going to get into preferences, because there is a difference. There is a stark difference between how Judge Bolitho operates and how Judge Frank operates. So if you go on to finduscourts.gov and you can look up any judge, any federal judge, and you can see how to get a hold of them, but you can also see their preferences. So Judge Bolitho, unless otherwise stated, notice setting a hearing, telephonic or remote appearances are allowed only with prior approval from Judge Bolitho. Okay? Unless otherwise ordered or requested, proposed orders are not required. Unrepresented parties and counsel seeking to utilize any courtroom tech for purposes of a hearing or trial should contact the courtroom deputy. All proceedings before Judge Bolitho are recorded by the court's audio recording system. Oh, I would have loved to been a fly on the wall when they were all in front of Judge. Yes. Well, here's the thing, too. With not turning over any discovery, that could mean two things. Either they're hiding it, or they don't have any. So I believe that the judge is taking his dear sweet time with that. One, because he can. He writes these quick one-page motions to things that don't really matter. But I think he is taking his dear sweet time. I don't think that he is rushing things. Yes, you need to watch both sides to find the truth. And that's why I really only pay attention to the documents, because it's not about what happens on YouTube. It's not about what's said on YouTube. It's about what's said in these motions and the judge sees. Do you think that the judge really goes through and watches every YouTube video that is tagged Yeah. So, and can you not mute me, please?
No.
You ready to go play?
No.
Okay. We're just going to talk about this real quick, and then we're going to go outside and play, okay?
No.
No?
Okay.
You have some right there.
Okay.
So,
Hello?
yes, I get that. However, they can possibly do that without Bruce, because of the simple fact that no discovery is also sending a message. So there, now you have to explain why you don't have anything. Baby girl, did you mute me? Yeah, there we go. How's that? Like, Angel, we are here. Ready? We're gonna get down. There you go. Oh, we need to go. Yeah, we're gonna go outside soon. I promise. We're just gonna get into Judge Frank's preferences compared to Judge Bolitho's. Yep, she has a bunch. So, yeah, most judges don't like media, and I believe the fact that this is being played out on YouTube does not play well. And I think this might come into play as well in a yes, the judge can issue orders to compel the GPS. There's that too. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Nobody would. You think people don't like me now? People would hate me if I was a judge. Like, I'd be hard on both sides, because at the end of the day, and what's funny is Flash Fan knows that generally I am hard on judges, because in a criminal case, in any case, the prosecution and the judge are technically on the same team. They're both actors of the state, and I hate the state up until recently. So it depends. In a civil case, I think it can be. In a criminal case, it's not. But in a civil case, I believe it can be. So it yes. Oh my God. Judge Squid would be a grammar Yahtzee. Because if something is hard for me to read, I start to care less about the contents, and I only start to focus on it. Does it does in my view it does. So hey Rock Mama, Randy and Bubbles filed a joint motion rescheduling Zim's deposition till the 21st, and I literally just heard a bag of M&Ms go all over the floor. I'm convinced they're all over my living room floor right now. And then the judge denied the order from yesterday as moot because they mutually responded. I think this judge is also trying to force these two people to get along, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I can understand why he is. Yeah, she got into, oh no, dangerous waves. Oh, the outside tumor broke. Oh. I'm sorry, dangerous waves. Prayers. Oh. Give her all the hugs. Oh. Now I'm sad. I'm sad for you. I think BBB figures JH is the one that has to prove everything, so why bother? Innocent until proven guilty, right? I am honestly not sure, and there's just some aspects of people's brains that I don't want to get into, and Bubbles is one of them. He'd be interesting case study. Yes, this right here. Figure it out, leave me alone. Like, leave me alone. I believe that will be handled in person. I believe the judge, once again, I believe he's not writing certain things in motions because there's certain things that I believe that he wants to settle in person. And I think he's giving everybody leeway to hang themselves. I'm giving you enough leeway to make you look like the fool that you are. Because if the judge truly says what he thinks, every judge's goal is to make their rulings appeal proof. That I've found. I'm not a judge, so I don't know, but looking at the issues that people bring up when on appeal, I believe every judge's mission is to not have their rulings appealed. So sometimes you want people to use the discretion and the power that they have. But remember, if he uses too much power, now Bubbles is like, you know how he likes, I've said it before, I'll say it again. He likes to put people in their place. He likes to file paperwork against people, against judges. I am sure that this judge knows Bubbles' past probably better than Bubbles does. And I believe he is walking a tightrope. So it's, yeah. Innocent until proven guilty isn't the standard in civil actions. Preponderance of the evidence, a mere tilt of the scale. So it's a thing. I love the brain. I have this brain book. I have a book called Brain on Fire. And then I have another book on the brain down here. I love anatomy, physiology. I like neuroscience. There are some people's brains that I just don't want to get into, and his is one. But I'm convinced there are some people who need an MRI just to prove that they have something up there. So it's, oh, I'm worried about her daughter. She's been with her since birth. Rogue Mama said it, I think. I think Bubbles is trying to get Jerry to pay for Zim's depot. He threatened to have Zim taken off the witness list if no depot. That only affects JH. Yeah, and I believe he's making a big deal. Rogue Mama, Andrew was in here yesterday and said that she thought it was the same thing. So it's proving that two people on different sides of an issue can agree on things, because she's the one who brought it up. And I was like, oh, that's a really good point. I hadn't even thought about that. Also, I believe that he's focusing on Zim because, one, he's the current mayor. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he is the current mayor of Otter Creek, right? And Spawn brought this up, so I cannot take credit for this idea, but this got me thinking. You get Zim involved in a lawsuit. It doesn't look awesome to be involved in lawsuits. And he mentioned that a certain somebody is trying to run for Otter Creek Town Council again. So if you make the current mayor look bad, you make yourself look better, which is, yeah, he has an election coming up. So it's, you take away it's optics. It's optics of the uninformed. So if people hear that he's involved in a lawsuit, but don't know what the lawsuit is or that he's only a witness, optics are everything. And the fact that Zim is one of, Bubbles says this all the time, so it's his phrase, not mine, one of only 3 people who saw the signs, I believe that is another reason he is trying to make Zim's deposition into such a big deal. bigger deal than it otherwise. Yes, ma'am. Otherwise would be. So that's when he brought that up, that was a really good point. Like, I got to give him credit where credit's due. That was a really good point. And I like I said, I don't pay too much attention to the drama that is who's in what position and people, named all this. They want to darken Zim's credibility. Yeah. So getting back to this, the last thing we are going to talk about before we are going outside, because it is 75 degrees and amazingly gorgeous outside right now. But is the judge. So this is Judge Bolitho. We kind of know what his you're FaceTiming me. Go get Mama's phone. She figured out how to FaceTime people. It's great. It's great. Well, there is the new judge, Michael Frank, for the new court case, the new federal case. So in one of the documents that Randy filed in the new case, the judges, can't remember who did it. The court reporter, or not the court reporter, but the court clerk put in docket annotation by court to all counsel. Counsel is advised that for all future pleadings in this case and for any other cases besides Judge Hinkle, exhibits attached to document and filing should be properly identified in the docket text when posting the document. Example, deposition of John Doe rather than Exhibit A. So we're going to see what this judge actually, what this judge's preferences are in compared to Judge Bolitho. And now that Bubbles is a party on the other case and may not be able to find a lawyer willing to represent him, I want to look into who this is. If you hear echo, it's her, not me. I promise. I'm sorry. This is what happened. Yeah, federal case 2. Thank you. She's a sassy one, but she's overall, she's a really good kid. Whatever one Daddy gave her. Yeah, this is my thing. So if Judge Bolitho has certain Randy even didn't follow Judge Frank's preferences. Not to say that he did it on purpose or it's a simple accident, and that's why there was a clarification, like, hey, just so the next time you do this. But I want to see if his preferences are different from Judge Bolitho's, and if Judge Bolitho is being somewhat tolerant of Bubbles, what will Judge Frank do? And what I am not sure. I have heard that he's been looking for a lawyer in Florida and no one will take the case. But I don't know if he will find one or not, or if he will be pro se. I'm thinking at this particular time he will be pro se, but that's just me. So the first 4 are the same. In advance of the hearing, parties may submit a courtesy copy of any authority relied upon delivering a binder to the court with applicable authority highlighted to the pertinent sections and a cover letter copied to all counsel. Generally, other than for changes of plea and unless requested otherwise by Judge Frank, attorneys are free to stay at counsel's table while addressing the court, but may also stand at the lectern. Counsel should in all circumstances stand while addressing the court. If exhibits are to be presented during a hearing or trial, the court requires a courtesy copy too. Some of these are pretty standard, but if To set a hearing on a matter referred to Judge Frank, the parties must file a motion that includes at least 3 dates and times. That's different. Let me go back to Zachary Bolitho. So for the most part, they're the same. I just wanted to see if they were different because this judge has already kind of had his clerk set some things that were different. And I can't find a whole lot of info on Judge Frank as far as like other cases and or interviews that he's done. I Googled Judge Bolitho and I found an interview that was on YouTube instantly. So it's one of those interesting things that I kind of wanted to talk about. Oh my God, you win comment of the day. Oh, yeah, I couldn't imagine any attorney. I couldn't imagine any attorney wanting to get into this mess. But that's just me. He represents himself. The thing is he represents himself. He may not be able to represent anybody else because of the fact that if you represent a co-defendant, are you really are you looking out for their interests or your own? So I think this new judge, he seems older. Judge Bolitho is pretty young. Judge Bolitho is my age-ish, with young children. I believe Judge Frank is older. So I believe he will be harder on people. The fact that there's only been 6 documents filed and 1 is the subpoena. So this is, I believe that he will be harder, which is going to be interesting because I'm wondering, there has been the complaint, the notice of summons, the civil cover sheet, amended document, the docket annotation by the court telling them how to actually do things in what this judge wants, and then summons that are issued to all the defendants. So it's, yep, that's true. But this is a different judge, so different judge, different judge. And Flash Fan, that's the thing about every judge has the way they want their courtroom run. And what Judge Bolitho might get mad at, Judge Frank doesn't give a crap about. And what Judge Bolitho doesn't give a crap about, Judge Frank might be like, no, I'm sanctioning you immediately. So it's going to be interesting just from a document and an order standpoint. When he issues his first orders, I believe that we will get all the answers. Because I heard people asking about the new judge, and like people have commented to me, and I've seen comments in different chats about the new judge. That's why I wanted to kind of look into him. It can be. And that was the issue with a certain YouTube lawyer that shall remain nameless, got arrested for some booger sugar and wanted to represent his wife. And there was a thing with the judge at his initial appearance. I stopped following it after that, about it being a conflict of interest, because when you represent a co-defendant, are you looking out for that co-defendant's best interest, or are you looking out for your own best interest? So it has happened, and it is possible, but a lot of judges see it as a conflict of interest. So it's watching my son go through 2 or 3 different judges last year. Every single one of them is different and has different rules of how they want things done. Yeah. And the thing is I believe that's a lot of the reason that judges walk fine lines. And when the rest of us are like, why aren't you doing anything? They're not doing anything because they have certain preferences based on their past interactions. And also they're cultural backgrounds and like what they've dealt with in life. Like a Gen X, a Gen X judge and a boomer judge are going to handle things differently based on when they grew up with versus a judge who is like 30 years old, who is a millennial and does not care about some of the things that the older judges care about. But I believe every judge tries to make their rulings appeal proof. So when we would like them to lay the smack down, so to speak, just because they can doesn't mean they will. And just because they aren't doesn't mean they're for us or against us. We gotta stop with this like group think of like, you do one thing that I don't like and you're an awful person and you're against us. It's like, that's not how the world works. So it's not how the world works. And it's also not how courts work. Like, you're not going to win every motion. It's just not going to happen. And if you get upset that you lose a motion or the judge rules your motion as moot, it's playing the long game when the rest of us on YouTube want to play short game because we want wins. We want wins. The thumbnail case, the hearings have been rescheduled to April. I want to say April. Oh, I have it written on my calendar. I just don't have it in front of me. Nope, just the short motion that literally took us 3 minutes to read. It was only one paragraph. So the person that commented yesterday that says I can't get through a paragraph without stopping and talking about something else, suck it. It was only a paragraph. They rescheduled Zim's depot to the 21st. It didn't have a time. And then the judge just saying, well, I don't have to rule. I'm denying the motion from yesterday because now it's moot. It doesn't matter because y'all rescheduled it. So you like watching Megan, but boy, she sure got upset. And I did see that there was enough to be that upset over yet. I don't know what, like, I figured out that if I get upset every time a ruling doesn't go in the favor of that I want it to, it's going to be a rough life. And it's going to be a very hard time watching court cases when everything you, when every, nice bite. No birds. I try to avoid streams. I'm not getting into that. What is it? Not drama. This is my favorite daytime soap. Yeah, and as long as you can stay disconnected from it, it's great. The problem that I have is that people are so one side or the other that a lot of people aren't willing to hear the opinion of somebody who doesn't agree with him or them. And that's my criticism of both sides. Like, my opinion is different from everybody else. So the person that also told me I was copying everybody else, it's like, no, I'm me. I'm red-haired, like sassy, tattooed, don't give a crap about a lot of stuff. Me. People lose the woods for the trees. Yeah, it's back-to-back, same day, same judge. Yeah, and I haven't really looked at that judge either. Hi, baby. All right, we're gonna go outside. Give Mama 5 minutes. Ready? 5 minutes, okay? I love you. And on that note, we are going to get going. I think that a lot is being made about this judge that I don't agree with. Like, you're never gonna agree with everything a judge does. And just because he hasn't written a motion or sanctions or anything like that does not mean that he is a bad judge, that he is against you. Just like when you're writing an email versus a text versus talking to someone on the phone versus what someone would say if they showed up at my front door. Highly not advised, but there is different ways of approaching situations based on what is who's going to see that? Like, you write an email with the full expectation that it's going to be shared online, because nobody can keep anything to themselves these days. So there is a difference between, I believe, what this judge is ruling on to make this case appeal proof and cover his ass for the future, and what he is saying behind closed doors, what he is thinking, and also what he will say to the parties when they're in front of him and act foolish. So there is a large range of things that could be going on, and we don't know everything. We only know what we read in filings and what we infer based on those filings. And a lot of times when people make inferences about a filing, they're wrong. So large judges keep a tally because they show any type of opinion on the lawyering. It can show bias, so they wait for the end to give great commentary about the performance at the end of the trial. That is true. When there's a decision on this case, I'm sure we will hear a lot more. We will hear a lot more in his decision, and when it goes to trial, than we are right now. Right now, he is basically telling both sides, y'all suck it up, get along. Oh, yes. Bruce's motions do seem to come across like he's a sniveling, whiny kid. Yes, they do. Oh, yes, they do. They are hard to read. And, like, I know, and I apologize for saying, like, I know that I read these motions and I stop and I talk to y'all about them and what I think. But there are some, like the Justin Baldoni lawsuit that we are reading right now. I find myself not commenting on the way it's written, but what's in it. Versus when I read Bruce's motion, it's like, oh, this is hard to read. That's a run-on sentence. That doesn't make any sense. And commenting on how it's written. And when you comment on how it's written, you spend less time focusing on the content. So, yes, put your get-along sweater on. Sing Kumbaya. You don't have to like each other, but you do have to be professional to each other. Yeah, I miss Judge Arthur. Can we take a pregnant pause? Like an EEG, it's a cheaper way to prove brain dead. Yeah, that's true. Oh, trying to move around with patients who have a VEG is hard, because you're like, okay, I have to get all these cables from the bed to the bathroom. It's glued onto their head. It's just like, and I love when doctors put in their orders, occupational therapy to induce seizure. Worst order ever. Scariest job ever. Because I'm like, okay, you're wanting me to work with this person so that they have a seizure. That's freaky. I never got used to that. Yeah. Cardiac or doctors don't put that, cardiologists don't put that in their motion. Work with patient to induce heart attack. That's not the way that works. But neurologists will put in their orders, occupational therapy to induce seizure. It's freaky. All right, Taz, thank you for the $2 super chat for Banana Fund. I think we're getting through our banana stuff. Although it's when you stop in the middle of sentences, right in the middle of a good thought. It's frustrating. And I'm trying to change that. But sometimes when I read something and I get halfway through the sentence and I'm like, what the hell did I just read? What the hell did I just read? Like, it's just, oy. I am not a doctor. I am an occupational therapy assistant. I've worked in a 700-bed hospital, and I've had to interact with lots of doctors. Some are great, and some I'm like, how did you graduate? I like your viewpoint. I don't always agree with you, but I try to see it the way you do. I can't always Gen Xer here, but I try. And that's fine. It's fine for people to not agree with me. I believe that when we disagree and we hear other people's opinions on things, whether it be a court case, the price of gas, groceries, like how you were raised. It's what makes us better people. Because if we always talk to people who agree with us, we never learn. So I enjoy talking to people who don't necessarily agree with me, respectfully anyway. And we help each other learn, because some of you mention stuff that I never even would have thought of. And it's like, you bring up a really good point. I didn't think of that. Let me ponder that for a day or two and I'll get back to you. And I've changed my viewpoint on some things, on both sides. Surprisingly enough. Well, yes, I also had brain surgery. For those of you who are new here, I have a scar right there. They took a piece of my skull and they did not give it back to me. And instead they put a metal plate. Because of my medical condition, there are lasting impacts. And one of those lasting impacts is my word finding ability. So sometimes when I'm trying to think of something and I know what I'm trying to say, it's like mom brain, but the brain fog is real. The brain fog is real. So sometimes when I read something and I'm like, what the hell did I just read? It's not me acting for y'all. It's me just being like, did y'all hear the same thing I just read? So, and that's a lot of times why I read the whole sentence over. I don't just pick up right in the middle of the sentence. I will start from the beginning. But like, sometimes I just forget things. So yeah, because I had brain surgery in 2020. I was social distancing before it was trendy. So I still have cysts in my spinal cord. So that's one of the reasons I shift around. Not only is this chair super uncomfortable, but sometimes my leg or my foot will go numb. Yeah, I would say it's chemo brain. I would say chemo brain is close. Yeah. Sometimes I can't even remember the dishwasher. Yeah, it's okay. Like I don't hide it. Since you are a member now, I did a members only stream last week talking about my condition. So I did do all the new members in chat. I did do a members only stream about my story and my journey and why I hate medical gaslighting. I hate gaslit. And the minute I feel like I'm being gaslit by somebody, I freak out because I've been gaslit by doctors for the vast majority of my life. So it's Hooked on Squid worked for me. Watched 3 videos and filed my first motion this morning. And some parts of me feel like I want to go back to school for a paralegal, not to work so much as a paralegal, although that would be a nice career where it's not so physical. Because right now I could never go back into OT because it's just super physical. And like, I would go home every day with a headache. Sick trains of thoughts. And I'm pretty sure the fact that I have depression and anxiety and I'm convinced undiagnosed ADHD, those do it too. So I will see you guys later. I am going to take the little outside. We are going to have some outside sunshine time, get that vitamin D in, and remember, hug your littles, hug your family, because tomorrow is not promised. And always hold people accountable for their actions. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Have a nice night. I will see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. We will continue going over the Justin Baldoni lawsuit, not a counterclaim against Blake Lively, but an entire new lawsuit where he's also suing Ryan Reynolds. Y'all have my anxiety is not over the roof because I take medicine for that. All right, y'all have a great day. Bye, guys.